Sound better? Yeah. Okay. This should be us now. Hopefully. God damn it. Oh, jeez. It's been one of those days today. Yeah, there we go. Here we are. Let's see who's in the chat today. Hi, Roseanne. Nice to see you. And we have two of our mods in with us. We have the lovely Ms. Theosaurus. Hello. And we've also got Green Hat too. Nice to see you. Final Aqua Buddy. Yes, we're going for a sheepy and a llama pool floaty. And Jan's here too. Hi, Jan. How you doing? Oh, goodness me. Daria's here too. Hi, Daria. Nice to see you too. I'm glad that you're here. Jan's busy today. I don't believe you. And April. Hi, April. Day job. My hair looks fab. That is hilarious. Yeah, I've got this bit, and it's like this is just where a natural curl starts, and I can't do anything about it. But thank you, that's very kind of you to say. I've just kind of tried to like tame it back a little bit. I'm long overdue a haircut as well. That's something that I'm going to probably get organised next week. So I would love to know what you are all doing today. Obviously, this is our work in progress Wednesday, although we're starting a new work, so I don't know if that follows, but yeah, you know what I mean, that's fine. Obviously just let me know about sound, light, etc. now that we've sorted out the microphone issue. I have, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to purchase a new microphone. The microphone that I've got, I have had since probably 6 months after we started the cave, give or take, and it is on its last legs. It seems to pick up a lot of background noise now, but it interferes with the quality of the dialogue noise as well. It's as if the levels are all shot on it. And I've been kind of putting it off, if I'm honest, because for a half decent microphone it's quite expensive. But I think we're at the point now where I'm actually going to have to do it. So I'm going to do a wee bit of digging about and see what I can find. The other thing about this microphone as well is that it hooks into the top down camera. It's not a separate USB, so when I record videos, the sound and video come as one file, and it makes it a little bit more difficult to edit. Well, it's not difficult to edit, it just makes it a little bit more awkward. And if you have like a USB mic that you can plug straight into the computer stuff, it makes it much easier because you've got two separate files that you can manipulate separately. So that's kind of like a motivation for getting a new mic as well. When we're live streaming, the microphone just it doesn't play well. We get lots of interference, we get feedback, we get clicky noises. So really it's not suiting the purpose of what we're doing now. So that's kind of like a plan of a bit of investment coming into the cave. So I'll start doing my research and see what's what. Jan had some paints delivered today, some Daniel Smith. Oh. Goodness me. Did you all enjoy the Paul Rubens video? That is the best fun I've had with paint in ages. It was one of those videos because Paul Rubens asked me to do the video. It's kind of one of those ones where it's like, oh, if someone asks me to do something, like they're making me do it. And it always feels like a bit more of a chore. But I haven't had that sort of joyous feeling of just exploring an art supply for ages, so I had an absolute whale of a time filming that video. Like I really enjoyed myself, and the sparkly paper that just did it for me, that just like topped it all off. My top does match the cave behind me, Janet. This is my colour cave t-shirt. It's got proper gradient on it. Look. Oh, proper cave colour. Like I really, if I went like that against the wall, I would just like blend in. Oh, Thea, don't tell me these things. The Blue Yeti microphone is on sale for Prime Day, £90 instead of 120. Oh, God. Now, it's interesting that you mentioned Prime Day. For any of you that haven't seen the Paul Rubens video that I posted yesterday, the newest set of the Paul Rubens watercolours are on sale. They're in the Prime Day event, so if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can get them for 20% off. But Mr. Jem and I were saying this morning, we're going to sit down tonight. We didn't have time yesterday. We're going to sit down tonight and have a look through the Prime stuff and just see if there's anything that we want. Mr. Jem is looking for a new pair of shoes to go on holiday with a bit later on. We're going away at the end of October, so we'll be kind of struggling for summer clothes by that point, so it's like get it now. I did notice that at Derwent I've got quite a lot of stuff in the Prime deals as well, so if you're in the market for some Inktense pencils, I'm not sure how good the prices are. I haven't really looked yet. As I say, I'm going to sit down tonight. But now that you've mentioned the Blue Yeti, that tonight might be an expensive evening, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh yeah. So that's it. That's where we're at. See, I hasn't had a chance to watch the video yet. It's good. Ulrika, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Welcome. We're still a little bit early. I'm quite organised today. It makes a nice change. Jan, so thankful you didn't come to the Yorkshire show. Wet, cold and miserable. Or was it? I went to our local show. When was that? That was 2 weekends ago. Was that 2 weekends ago? 3 weekends ago? And we got like the one nice day in amongst all the crappy weather, which was really nice. So did you spend the whole day just being soggy, Jan, or did you hide? That's right, Thea. I remember when you got that microphone, now that you say that. I remember because you said you were like, I don't know whether to do it or not. And then we decided when we were on our Discord call that it sounded good. Really nice. Okay, so it is now officially 3 p.m. So let's get going. Welcome everybody to our live stream, and today is going to be the start of our last Aqua body to finish off our set. We are going to stick with the coloured pencil situation just for some continuity, because these stickers are going to be as a set. It's kind of nice if they're all in the same medium. They've all got that same kind of like cohesive feel about them. As always, we're just here on a very casual, laid back hangout kind of basis, so I hope you've all got your projects that you're working on with you. I would love to hear what it is you've got with you today. And if at any point in the chat things get a little bit inappropriate or you feel uncomfortable, grab a hold of Thea or Green Hat, the ones with the little blue spanners next to their name, and we will deal with things accordingly. But this is a safe space, it's a happy space, and we're going to have a good time, god damn it, okay? So let me just change my view here a wee bit. Yeah. Got my tea mug here. I'm going to try and finish my tea before it gets cold today. That is like goals for today. We're going to pick a fresh page in our sketchbook. Look how good Clock Marine looks. I'm really pleased with it. Really pleased with it. And I've got my pencil case beside me here as well, but I'm just going to grab a graphite pencil, because before we get going with the really fun stuff, we do need to do a bit of planning. And this is something that, see, with the live streams, I always feel in the, when you're making videos, you've got so much to try and cram down into something that's a reasonable length that people are going to watch. And you guys will know that my videos tend to be on the longer side, because I feel like I have to try and include as many elements as possible. But this sort of creative first step and the planning step is quite often just missed out completely, or is, like a very, very small snippet of the actual recorded videos. So I really like the fact that in the live stream we can go through this creative process together, and you can see in real time things like just adjusting angles or fixing mistakes or making lines just that little bit tidier. Like I feel it is something that's really, really important. And I just think it's such a shame that, video lengths are becoming shorter and shorter. People don't want to watch them. And I'm kind of like going against the grain with that now, but I'm a bit stubborn about that. So, take from that what you will. Let's zoom in a wee bit here. Yeah, I've got this little ink stain here. It's kind of bugging me. And it's soaked right through so many pages. So many pages. Jan, the police mobile station van, which we broke. Go on, tell me what you did to it. Hi Susan, nice to see you. Thanks for coming and joining us today. Thea's project today is sulking. You got sunburn. Oh no. Oh no. No sunscreen. Well, I'm afraid I don't have any sympathy for you. I say this to people all the time that obviously I've got Italian lineage and I do take a ridiculous tan. In the winter, I am so, so, so pale, like I am so white, but I go brown really quickly. I don't have to sit out and I go a really nice shade of, a sort of like golden yellowy brown, but I can burn. So if it happens to me, you'll need to put some sunscreen on, especially the fact that I'm in Scotland. I went into Boots, which for those of you outside of the UK is one of our big pharmacies that's like health and beauty. They do everything, and they've got all the makeup counters, and I needed to get some more foundation. And the lady at the MAC counter laughed at me when I told her the palest shade that I use and the darkest shade that I need in the summer. I am 7 shades of a difference between my lightest in the winter and my darkest. Obviously, in between times, I just mix the two together, but she thought that was absolutely hilarious. And she's like, "You are literally chalk white in the winter." And I'm like, "Yep, I am." And she's like, "But you're quite brown just now." And I was like, "Oh, no, no, this is, I've hardly been out. This is not brown." And she went, "Oh, okay." That was quite entertaining. It's not very often that, the beauty ladies are usually very sort of polite and very nice because they want to sell you things. I'm sure some of them are very nice people anyway, but she actually like lolled. And she's like, "Yeah, I don't see that very often." I'm like, can't do anything about it. It's just who I am. Good old sunburn. Hi, Cal. How are you? Nice to see you. Oh, autocorrect. Hello, Mona. The van was fine the first 3 days. Okay. When I went to close the driver's window and lock it, computer says no. Next door highways tried to help, but we think a chip died somewhere. 50 Shades of Gem. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, hi Terry, how are you? Nice to see you. I was actually really hoping you would be in the last stream because I've got some sad and tragic news for you. My Jack Daniels shirt, which I love very much, I've had to relinquish ownership of it because I've lost a bit of weight now. It's really baggy, so I have passed the mantle to Mr. Jem, and he wore it out to our local agricultural show, and he did actually look like a cowboy. It was hilarious because he had his cowboy hat on as well. So it is still in use, but unfortunately it's too big for me to wear. It's kind of at the point where it makes me look bigger than I actually am. So if you're talking to your nephews, if they've got one in a smaller size, tell them to pass it over to me. I'm really pissed about it though because I love that shirt. God damn it. Right, okay, so that's enough chitty chat. So what I want to do first of all here is I want to kind of try and sketch out what I had in my mind, and then obviously get your input and we can amend from there. So as per, because I'm left-handed, I like to start in this top right-hand corner and kind of like go in like this direction. So we'll start there. Yeah, so my thinking was, first of all, my sheep. I'm thinking like proper comedy, like almost like a balloon sheep. So if you think about this sort of shape, that's not very technical. We don't need to be technical here though. Terry needs a picture of Mr. Gem Cowboy. I'll get you one. He does look very handsome in the shirt. I think because as well he's well, he doesn't have any hair left on his head, but he's quite dark. Like his beard's quite dark, and I think it just likes, I don't know. Obviously, I'm going to say my husband's handsome, but normally Mr. Jem looks like a homeless person that hasn't washed for 3 days, and he's usually covered in all sorts of unidentifiable substances. So he scrubs up quite well, but it did look quite dapper in the shirt. Oh, green hat, everything's too small for you. Oh, I know that feeling so bad, so bad. I'm at that weird place where like I'm in between two sizes, so my slightly smaller clothes are still too tight to wear, but my bigger stuff is starting to look like untidy on me. It's really annoying. I hate it. And I keep opening like the wardrobe doors going, "Oh, I've got nothing to wear." Hi Patty, good morning to you. How are you doing on the dog hunting front? Are you any further forward yet with that? Terry says every man is most handsome in a cowboy hat and blue jeans. Yes. 100%. The look handsomest men. Right, okay, so I'm thinking like fat sheep with little legs. I was going to say arms and legs, but they're all legs, aren't they? But I was kind of thinking for the floaty. Now, I don't know how, here we're going into the technical anatomy here. I don't know how good your llama anatomy is, but their heads are quite large compared to their necks, and that's kind of why I wanted it as a floaty, because we want it to look ridiculous. So, you know, they've got quite big heads, and especially not so much with llamas, but alpacas are very like floofy, round, like they've got a lot of hair around their head and their face. So their heads actually look, oh, shedding, oh goodness me. Their heads actually look disproportionate, but that they make a good floaty. So I was kind of thinking that kind of idea, but maybe more on you know, facing slightly more towards. So maybe that sort of direction. Well, that would be further round actually, now that I think about it. Here we go, this is it started already, but this is what I'm saying, like, I think that this is really important to show all of this. So you would see a little bit of the ring on this side, so it would be slightly offset, maybe like there. Give some little llama ears on the go. And then our sheep is going to take up the entirety. Like the sheep is going to be wedged in the floaty, because obviously their fleece is, you know, it takes up a lot of space. But I think we want them at a kind of jaunty angle, like, you know, because they're going to be like reclining, relaxing. So maybe there, that sort of angle. Wow, y'all are chatty today. A patty, not yet. All the rescues we want to haven't got. I don't know what it's like for you guys. I've read quite a lot of stuff, especially in the States, that the like the adoption rules are really, really strict now. And I find it really odd because all the shelters seem to be overflowing. And not that you would want to relax the criteria, because obviously you want to give animals the best home that you can, but some of the demands are seem to be quite extreme. And I thought that maybe there would be less of that because the shelters are overcrowded, but I say I don't know what it's like for you. Jan's got some shirts and jackets and a sample sale at work. Ooh. Cal. Oh, we're straight in there with the snarkiness today. Not even jeans and a cowboy hat could make my ex look anything but an anorexic gorilla. Oh, 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 that's harsh. Ooh. I was just about to say that, Thea. I'm trying to picture that in my head, and I don't know how that's going, honestly. Hi, Marcy. Early morning in Seattle. Well, good morning to you in Seattle. Is it raining in Seattle? That's the one thing that I was told. It's a writer friend actually who I haven't spoken to him in a long time. He lived just outside Seattle, and he said that it's always very rainy there. The exit gorilla's just phoned in to complain. Oh, geez, right, okay. So that's kind of set the tone for the stream then, hasn't it? Oh, it's not rained for weeks. Oh my. Well, you must have blown it over the water here because it's done nothing but rain here. We've had thunderstorms and all sorts. It is, but when I say really warm, it's not really, but it's really warm in comparison to what we've had. We've been in the low teens, which is really, really cold for us at this time of year in Celsius, not Fahrenheit. But we've been like 13, 14 degrees, and normally at this time of the year it's like in the 20s and into the mid 20s, and today it is 21, so it feels really warm, but it's really overcast, so it's like sticky and close. But say it's been really thundery, so you know. Right, anyway, we're supposed to be drawing stuff. Let's go. I'm not sure. I think we might just have like wee comedy legs poking out. If anybody's ever seen the Wallace and Gromit series, Shaun the Sheep his feet are basically like that. I don't know whether that would be funny or not, but I kind of feel like we might go down that route. I think the neck as well should be ridiculously long. Like, I feel this is too short. I feel that should, like, the head should be up here, like a gigantic floaty. High 80s. Okay, so quite warm then. Hi, Nye. Work got in the way. Everybody keeps complaining about this work thing getting in the way. It's such an inconvenience. I think we're gonna have to do something about it. Oh, Thea's got lots of landslides and damaged roof. That sounds a bit dramatic. Muggy in London, yeah. I remember one year, Ulrika, I used to go down to London for weekends all the time. The nearest airport to where my parents stay is Prestwick International, or Glasgow Prestwick, whatever you want to call it. And when Ryanair used to do the really cheap flights, that was like mid-noughties, you could go down to London for about £12 and we used to just go down for a weekend. And we went late May and there was like a mini heat wave on, and this, honestly, see the tube, it was stifling. I thought I was dying. It was awful. I did Gem no like it. So I sympathise. Like, it is that sort of stifling tight heat, isn't it? Have you all praised James Knigh's hair already? Honestly, I'm just gonna like stop doing stuff. I mean, I'm just gonna like casually slope into a stream like, hey guys, and you'll all be like, look at James' hair. It's got much worse on the tube than it was, I can imagine. Jan prefers it shorter. Oh, like everyone keeps talking about it. See the length that it's at just now. I would like it like maybe an inch longer. Like, if it sat here, I would be happy. I really didn't like it as short as it was when I got it cut, if that makes sense. It was just too short. It's not me because I'm so used to having long hair, but I definitely don't want to go back to like long hair because it's too much hassle. So, but we'll agree to meet in the middle. How does that sound? Oh, Patty said flooding in Toronto. So, geez, oh, like, what's going on? Patty, Sean the Sheep, my mind went directly to Sean the Sheepman, the YouTuber. I love his video. His dogs are they're like very well trained. The Victoria line, oh God. Oh God, the Victoria line. Don't talk to me about the Victoria line. Got stories about the Victoria line. I was reminiscing with an old school friend. Right, I'm gonna try, like, I need to stop talking because we're gonna get nothing done here. Um we had Glenn's memorial gig, and oh, that's a story for another day. But there were a couple of my like old school friends who I haven't kept in touch with and I haven't seen, and they were there at the gig, and it was so nice to see them. And we were talking about the at one point when I can't even think what age we were at that point. We were maybe like 20, I want to say 21 maybe. And Glenn's band entered into like a global battle of the bands competition, and they got into the final, and the final was at the Astoria in London. And of course, like, we all went down, to support them. And my school friends that were there were at that gig, so we were having this conversation. And honestly, that was the wildest weekend that I've ever had, bar none. And there was all sorts of shenanigans going on. We ended up in like an illegal drinking den just off like Victoria Road, and I did it. Ugh, there was all sorts going on, but we there was lots of back and forth on the Victoria line, and again, it was summer, it was warm, and it was just absolute chaos. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it. But I have to say, like, the tube in London it's astounding. I know my way about it quite well, actually. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been down now, but I think it helps if you've got a good sense of direction. Once you figure out where the lines cross over and you know whether you need to go up or down, if you're at a station where there's more than one line. But if you know you're north and southbound and you're east and westbound, it makes things significantly easier. And some people just don't have that internal compass. I'm talking about tourists, obviously, Ulrika. But I got a grasp of it quite quickly. One of the things I'm concerned about with this is the danger of the llama looking like a dinosaur. Because we're kind of into like raptor or maybe even dragon territory here. And I think I want the ring part to be quite chonky. Like I might even bring that up a bit, like like there. Make it kind of like beefier. I need this to be quite skinny though, but when you think about inflatables, they're normally quite thick, aren't they? That might cause us an issue. Maybe, I'm not sure. Thanks for popping in, Cal. See you later. I'm excited for Nye coming to London. Jan's friend's spaniel got bitten on the nose by an adder. Thankfully, she's okay now. Right, I suppose I better tell you the story. So, Jock, our oldest dog, we had a litter from him and Mist, which was my original working dog that passed away. And one of the pups that they had went to our neighbour at the very, the very first proper farm that we were on. So that was long before we started the cave. And that area was really bad for grass adders. And Maisie, the pup, she got bitten by a grass adder on her side and she took like a horrific reaction to it and she lost all her hair. Some of you might remember this actually because it happened when I had the cave and she was really, really ill and they didn't know she was going to make it. I mean, adders are mostly, grass adders in the UK are mostly harmless, but the cows get bitten on the face quite a lot and they just puff up like a balloon. So there's obviously something nasty going on in there. So, oh yeah, I hope your friend's dog's like going to be okay because it's not nice. The first thing Ulrika says to visitors about the tube Muppet is not representative of actual London. If only it was as bright and circly and things as that. Oh, goodness me. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you. Yeah, we've done absolutely nothing, Mary. I've been talking absolute rubbish for like the first 20 minutes. And we've talked about how we don't want the llama floaty to end up looking like a dragon or a dinosaur because we're kind of headed in that direction. Okay, so let's think about our sheep. So again, sheep and llamas. Llamas are part of the camelid family, but they share a lot of similarities with the ovine family, which is where sheep fall in. They have very similarly shaped heads, and the same goes for their eye placement and their mouths. So we can just kind of like mimic that face, but I want this to be like fat sheep. Really, really fat sheep. So we can decide what we're holding or what we're doing with our arms a bit later on. We're not that far forward yet. But I need this sheep to take up like this entire ring. This is a really maybe the legs should come up this way. If I was just about to say if any of you have ever turned a sheep on its back, but most of you will not have done that. That will not be an experience you've had. When we're dealing with them, I can't even talk about this. If you have a sheep which is the right way up, if you want to work with them, the easiest way to do that is to have them on their back because it renders them mostly like immobile and they just kind of like limp out. they just accept their fate kind of thing, and it's the easiest way to work with them without injuring them or without stressing them out, because sheep are quite easily stressed. So when they're standing upright, you push them against your body, so like they're close in at your thighs, and you take their heads and you turn their heads like back in towards their body, you know, as if they were going to curl up and go to sleep, and it makes them go down, and then you can turn them onto their back. And when you do that, you wedge them in between your thighs, facing away from you, so their heads like facing the same direction as you, and then you can work with them. If you've ever seen videos of sheep getting clipped, you know, getting their fleeces shaved off, that's the kind of position you want them in, because you're less likely to cause any harm. But when you do that, when you rock them, like you rotate them back towards you slightly, their back legs go up in the air like this, and their back legs are just kind of like hanging out like that. So, roundabout way of saying maybe we're in that reclined position, and maybe we could have like comedy legs sticking out. They don't do that with their front legs though, they just kind of sit with them like this, but you know, we can decide what we're doing with that. I do think that sunglasses are a must. Ridiculous already. I love it. And then we can maybe have just a little bit of water, again thinking about it in sticker form. I kind of think that like a drink of some description. Just I'll put in some eyes there. Now, llamas have got quite fine noses. Do we want a drink out here? Is it going to be a glass of wine? Does it have a bendy straw? These are the critical questions I need y'all to answer. Oh, Spaniel's fully recovered. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. A woman at work has twice got her spaniel come back from a walk high on weed, and yes, they get the munchies too. Yeah, dogs get stoned. I have seen that. It's kind of hard to watch, to be honest, but it seems to affect dogs the same way it affects humans. When Patty was in Ireland, she got to hold a sheep in the shearing position. It's absolute hell on your knees and your back. You speak to any shepherd over the age of 40 and I can guarantee they've got knackered knees and or a knackered back. Like, it's just part of the job. An umbrella, we need, yes. Where is this hair? This is why, guys, this is why I don't wear my hair down when we do this, because I just shed constantly. We need an umbrella for the drink. One of those little like 80s cocktail umbrellas. Yes. Susan spent a summer at Great Uncle's farm in Sutherland. Lots of sheep in Sutherland, yes. Dipped the sheep, moved them. Yep. Great time. Hard work though, Susan, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not a sheep fan at all. I always tell Mr. Jem, in fact, I say it to everyone, I would rather have 1,000 cows than a herd of 50 sheep. That's how much I hate working with sheep. Like, oh, God. It's not my thing at all. It's a thankless task. They're like inherently stupid. They can't keep themselves alive at all. And the vast majority of them have little or no maternal instinct. And when you have multiples, because most of your sheep you would want to have twins, they no, they're rubbish, absolutely rubbish. Okay, so what do we think, just as a starting point? We'll make this more of a cocktail, maybe like a martini glass. Would that be better? Like, and we could have. I'm kind of keen on the bendy straw, guys. I'm not gonna lie. But we maybe have like a little umbrella. What do we think to that as a starting point? Did anybody have anything else in their mind that's different, or do you think that we should maybe change things? Because I would like to hear all of your thoughts on it. This is very much a collaborative effort. Right, Jan. Martini style glass, okay. Okay. I'm gonna skip this first ad, guys. I feel that's really unfair. I had a little afternoon just sitting, because we're live streaming, fairly regularly now. I sat down and went through all the settings on YouTube and in OBS just to try and get a better understanding of it because it's something I've not really been keeping up with. And the trend is now that updates come out on a really regular basis. So if you don't keep up with that, you end up you install the next version and you don't have a freaking clue what's going on because they keep changing things. But the advert situation on YouTube, it seems to be getting quite wayward, and I'm not sure that I like it, honestly. The revenue that's coming in from adverts on YouTube, it's dropped so much, honestly, guys. I am not making a lot of money from these, but I always feel in live streams like it kind of like interrupts the flow, and we're only half an hour in, and I don't really like the thought of like having an advert shoved in your face right now. So I do have the power, I have the veto power to cancel it off, but it's trying to find a balance because they ask you whether you want a high volume of adverts to come up automatically in your stream, whether you want to do it manually or whether you want like a medium or low volume. If you have to do it manually, it kind of interrupts the flow of the stream, as the name might suggest. But it's kind of difficult to try and balance it out. So I like the fact that I can skip them. But we do kind of have to make a little bit of money. So, but anyway, that's fine. We just got rid of that one. Okay, so let's use this as a starting point then. I'm quite tickled by these back legs poking up. I'm not going to lie, that's because that's very sheepy. Let's take a moment to focus on this cocktail. Focusing on cocktails. Thea says, "Why am I thinking that the sheep is hiding a mouse in its fleece?" Oh, right. Okay, so the first thing that pops into my mind is that we take away these construction lines from the back of the rubber ring, we have an expanse here, and sheep are quite unique in that they tend to be, they're less fleecy down towards their groin area for obvious reasons, and they've got an udder. But this part here traditionally is less hairy on most mammals than others. Sheep are hairy all the way around. So we've got this expanse where in terms of the actual picture, there's nothing going on. So maybe we could just have like a tiny wee mouse poking out here. Would that be good? I kind of like that. Maybe the mouse is going to have sunglasses on as well. I love that idea. Long days, happy memories, driving the tractor and chasing sheep. How he did it himself with my aunt, as they didn't have a dog. You'd be surprised, actually, Susan. Martini glass gives more of a holiday vibe. Yes, agreed. Maybe a mouse on the sheep's shoulder with its own glass. Right, I really like that idea, Jan. Again, I'm just thinking of the scaling of a sticker. It's going to be quite small, and obviously the mouse is going to be a lot smaller than the sheep, and I think a lot of the details would get lost. I really like that though. If I was going to do it as like a print, I would entertain that entirely, but for practicality reasons, it's probably not going to look that good. It would be quite sort of muddy. Oh, he's having a party on the sheep's belly. God. A border collie swimming after him. Now, interesting that you should mention that, Patty. Someone again at the gig that I was at asked if I would do a generic border collie drawing, and it didn't necessarily have to be like a realistic drawing, so I'm playing about with a few ideas. So we might do a border collie separately. Patty wants a bigger picture with the dog. It's all about dogs. Oh, goodness me. Right, anyway, so let's think about this martini glass here. Let's move over a wee bit. I do think it's for those of you that are, drawing your own sort of original art, and it doesn't matter whether it's more of an illustrative style like this or whether it's something a bit more realistic. See, just spitting all your ideas out on a sketchbook page, and especially having people to like bounce ideas off of, it's really, really good. Most of you know Mr. Jem's not artistic at all. Like he doesn't have a creative bone in his body, bless him. But he's really good with ideas, and I regularly, obviously, I value his opinion because he's my husband. Um, but I regularly go and ask him and think, I'm thinking about drawing this. What do you think to this? And he'll say, oh, well, what about this? Or maybe you could try this. And it's nice to have that sounding board, even if it's someone that doesn't have any, artistic experience or inclination. And this is such an important part of what you do because we talk about when you're in the sketching stage, it's important that you take the time to get the picture right at that point, because if you don't, no matter what you do after that, something's going to be off and you can't fix that with paint or whatever it is. The basics have to be right, and designing what you're doing is a big part of that. And some people might be like, oh, for God's sake, just get on with whatever it is you're drawing, but I cannot stress how important this part is because it's the building block, it's the foundation. So it is really important that you get this right. And even if it is minute details like a freaking martini glass, which, by the way, at the old cave, the last cave, I used to have a set of 12. And I decided not to bring them with me to the new cave because we don't drink out of martini glasses anymore, but they're still fun. Okay, so that's a bit more martini glass shape. That's a difficult shape to get right as well. Doesn't look, it's not perfect, but it doesn't look too bad. Right, okay, so we need, when I think about, and I'm talking about the little paper umbrellas that you used to get, they were very popular in the 80s. And they had these, they were on like a cocktail stick and they kind of looked like this. And they were always like really ridiculous colours. So maybe we should have that sitting at an angle in there. And the top, this part here, like the nubbin on the top, it was always white. Oh, wait. Drink your tea, Gem. A postcard. Right, there we go then. So if I end up doing a collie drawing, I will amalgamate this drawing with the collie and make it into a postcard, and that is a promise. Wish we're here, but luckily you're not. Yes. Yes. Hi, Leave Me. I didn't see you sneaking in. Yes, absolutely. Like I would call it a burly swirly straw. Clashing colour umbrella. Yes. Yeah, like a really offensive, yes, offensive orange. Martini shaken, not sheared. Really not a good idea to shake your sheep, but that's another story. Highly welcome. Oh my. Oh lordy. Right, okay. Don't shake your sheep. That's the moral. Oh, that's the other thing before I forget as well. Mr. Jem said to me, you know how I always say, like in my videos and live streams, like, here's your Scottish lesson for today. I have to teach you the word wheesht today on instruction of Mr. Jem. If you say to someone, oh, wheesht, it means, oh, be quiet, you're talking rubbish, like, stop talking. And it's spelt W-H and then as many E's as you want, depending on how emphatic you want to be. And then S-H-T, wheesht. So that's your Scottish word of the day. Mr. Jem does not use it, but anytime I use it with him, he just laughs at me. And he says it's one of the most Scottish sounding words that he's never quite got used to in all the years he's been in Scotland. So there you go. But you can also tell someone to hod their wheesht. Hold your whatever it is you're saying, so that it's like, hang on a minute, just wait, or no, stop talking, you've got to wait here. So there you go, and welcome to your Scottish lesson. That's a Yorkshire dialect word too. Yes. Leave Me just got here, be lurking for the rest, still on work where I can't see the chat. It's okay, I'll whisper to you every now and then and make sure you're okay. Hi, Mel. You're someone else that should be at work as well. You lot are a bunch of slackers, jeez. Ulrika's Scottish palate or pub uses wheesht quite often. It's such a good word, it really is. And Mel said, yes, well, again, Irish, that would make sense. Right, I need to work on my umbrella angle here. There's another thing, does it, for the rest of the UK, do you guys use the word brolly for umbrella, or is that just a Scottish thing? Thanks, Elise. I'm in good spirits today, actually. Do you know something? See, being honest, I actually had quite a rough morning this morning. When I got up, I had quite a good night's sleep because I've been kind of back to this. I've not been sleeping very well, but it comes in fits and starts, and it's like not an issue for me. I'm kind of used to it. But when I woke up this morning, I just had this really, just like not good feeling, and something happened this morning that I just kind of went into this sort of mopey, like teary, wallowy place. And I don't know, like I snapped out of it, but it was just really weird because I generally I've been feeling quite good. But it took me a while to like pull myself out of it. But I feel much better now. But do you know that way I was thinking to myself, God, I hope this doesn't hang about. I've got a live stream to do this afternoon, and I have generally been feeling, a bit better about things and about myself recently. So I was a wee bit concerned about myself this morning, but obviously I've recovered. And coming into these streams, although I still get like a wee bit of nerves, even though like we've been doing it for such a long time now. But I still get like a little bit nervous, but I always have such a good time. And anytime we're all hanging out, I always feel better after it because I really enjoy just hanging out with you guys. So that's like a cack-handed compliment to all of you. Thanks. That was a really long-winded way of saying thanks, Lisa. I'm glad that you enjoyed the fact that I'm laughing. But yeah, it's been a journey today. It really has. Yeah, Mary, I've noticed that. I'm sure I've mentioned before that Mr. Jem, he's from Lancaster, well, just outside Lancaster originally, but he spent a lot of time in Yorkshire as a late teen, early 20s person, and a lot of people think that his accent is a Yorkshire accent. And he said that there's a lot of words that are very similar. I just didn't know if Brawley was one, but apparently it is. Hi, Angela, how are you? Nice to see you. I take you my work in 2016. Yes. Yeah, sometimes, do you know what? Sometimes you do, like, you've just got to let the feelings be what they are. Um, Mornings are, well, I'm normally a morning person, and I think that's why it kind of not, like, if I'm feeling not good, like, it's usually much later on in the day. It's usually like late evening and into what I call the black hour, like in the middle of the night. It's very unusual for me to feel shitty first thing in the morning. I think that kind of knocked me off a wee bit as well. Human embodiment of a Smith song. Yes, yes, Mel, yes. It's funny how I came out of nowhere. It's funny though, I said to Glenn's girlfriend Caroline, who obviously was at the gig as well. I was hosting the gig. I was kind of like sort of like pegging like dot to dot, like all the sets together and everything. I wasn't in a mentally good position to participate in the musical side of things, although I really wanted to because Glenn and I used to play guitar together all the time. So that was kind of my way of still participating without putting myself in a position where I might have like a mental breakdown. Um, but Glenn's girlfriend wanted to stand up and say a few words, and she's a very quiet, reserved person. And she said to me, she's like she said she's used to presenting for work and things, but she doesn't like standing up in front of people and talking, and a lot of people don't. But she said to me one of her main worries was that she didn't want to cry in front of everyone because that's all people have seen of her is her crying in front of everyone. And oh God, I felt like so much for her. And I just said to her, I was like, look, I'll be like right beside the stage. So if you feel at the last minute you can't do it, or you don't want to do it, or you can't continue, I'll be right there. I'll take over. I'll cut it, I'll cut it off for you. Whatever you need, I'll be right there. But I also said to her as well, it's not. See, if you do cry, it's not a sign of weakness or anything. And quite frankly, if you weren't emotional, I would be really concerned that you had a heart made of stone. And I said to her, I said, look, I've got all these parts and speeches and thing to say, and I have no idea at that point before the gig whether I was going to be able to keep it together. And I said to her, I said, you know what, see if I can't keep it together and I do start crying, it doesn't matter, because it's really important for everyone else that's there, because everyone that was there knew Glenn. It's important that you let it happen because it's completely normal. And I said, I'm not bothered if people see me cry because it's a perfectly natural reaction to what's going on. I said, but I understand for someone that's quite, quiet and shy, that's something that you wouldn't want people to see. But she seemed to kind of like be bolstered a little bit by it, and I'm really glad she did amazing, and she didn't need any help whatsoever. I think she did so well, but she kind of perked up when I said that, and she was like, right, okay, you know. So that was a really nice point, but I don't, especially after what's happened, and I've always been an advocate for speaking out about how people are feeling mentally. Um, and that was absolutely no exception. But it's not, I don't want people to think like, oh, it's like, oh, I'm looking for like poor me. It's not about that. It's just the fact that, it's okay to not be okay sometimes. It doesn't have to ruin your life, it doesn't have to ruin your day, but more people feel like that sometimes than you actually know. And it's, I think by sharing it, that, it's just a really important thing. That's all. Yeah. Anyway, I realise I'm off on a wee tangent again there. Let's go back to talking about brawlies. Oh, Ulrika, that's actually, see, comments like that. Ulrika has just said the live streams always make me feel good too. See, that is like the best compliment you could ever pay me. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. Mel gets if she smells something nostalgic. That's interesting, the smell thing. Thea, you're right. She is allowed to cry, and that's what I said to her. I was like, well, if you're not crying, then what chance have the rest of us got? Hello, Wilcox, Mama 1103. Are you new here? I haven't seen you in a stream before, I don't think. Marigold thinks the mental health discussion in the UK really needs a massive shake-up. Yes, and that's like I am advocating for that like 100%, and I am trying to normalise that. Yeah. So much damage can be done pretending to be okay. Yes, exactly. Like 100% agree. And this is the thing, when people came up to me at the gig, it was busy. Like it was proper ass busy, and there was lots of people there that I didn't know. Um, but when people said to me, obviously, like Glenn was the topic of discussion in between sets and stuff, but we were talking amongst ourselves as well. And people asked me directly or indirectly, like, how are you actually doing? As in, how are you coping with this? And I was quite honest about it. And I'm like, well, good days and bad days, a lot better than I was like 3 months ago. But these things happen, and someone slaps you in the face with an offhand comment out of nowhere, and it sends you off on this weird tangent, and all of a sudden you're in the mire. And I always say, like, it's not those moments that define you, it's what you do afterwards and like how you go forward from that. But I am very candid, you know, if someone says to me, "Oh, how are you doing today?" I'll be like, "Well, it's not been a good day because, but I'm okay. I just need, you know, a little bit of something, something." Right, I'm looking at this straw now. This is not acceptable. I want something. I don't know what I want. Again, we talked a little bit about this in the last stream about the direction that the illustrations are facing, because everyone is facing to the right apart from Gloria. She's face on. I will flip these in Photoshop so that we've got a nice balance. So I'm just going to stick with this angle. The reason it happens is because I'm left-handed and it's easier for me to work that way. But I need a good straw shape. I think, can we not do like a figure of 8 or something? I don't want to make this too complicated because I'm gonna have to draw this. Oh, maybe we could have something like that. So that would be the top. Would that work? That's fancy enough, isn't it? Trying to catch up on the stream here is, but Thea's sense of smell is the only sense that's directly connected to your memories. Well, I don't know. Okay. I know Terry's a nutcase. She gets up at like super early in the morning because she's in an exotic part of the world. I appreciate it though, Terry. I really do. Thanks for that. You know, like I really, really do. Yeah, that is dedication, isn't it? The Wilcox, can I just call you Wilcox? Is that okay? Yes, you're new. Been looking for current colourists that do lives, mostly because of the topic you're talking about. Oh, oh, that's so lovely. Can we have, please, chat a round of pink udder hands for Wilcox Mama for joining us? We like to make people feel very welcome here, and we're a friendly bunch. You'll see some nonsense, but it's good-natured nonsense. Mary says you found the best. Well, I don't know about that, Mary, but we do try, don't we? Yeah. Oh yeah, you know, thank God our hands. You guys are the best. Oh. Odors take a direct route to the limbic system, including the amygdala and the hippocampus, the regions related to emotion and memory. Okay, yeah, like that lot. Yes, ma'am. All these pink udder hands are for you, Wilcox Mama, so enjoy them. There you go. Yay. Well, we always welcome new people here. Right, but back to business here. Is this straw acceptable, people? Do we think this is a good shape, or do we want to elaborate on this a little bit more? I just love seeing this sea of pink on her hands. It's my favourite thing ever. You're most welcome. The pink udder hands is just a show of appreciation. We use it quite a lot, Wilcox Mama. We use it to thank people, or we use it to just generally be enthusiastic about things. Obviously, the reason we call it that is because it looks like an upside down cow udder, because it's a fat pink hand. So now you know. Happy with the straw. Excuse me. Oh, any more would get too complex to colour. Yeah. Right, we've got an ad coming up, guys. 50 seconds for those of you that aren't on paid YouTube. I'm terribly sorry. I won't talk about anything important for the next minute or so. Do you know I've just caught a glimpse of myself in the camera here. Look how light my hair is. That's because of the sun. Like I've gone like a really light brown colour. That's weird. I don't like that. My hair is actually really dark. Right, so let's try and incorporate. Let's move on a little bit here. I might just, because I'm thinking with this shape of straw, see this little angle here, that might sit on the edge of the glass. Just saying. So let's try that. I would also like to point out that the way that we're going about this just now, obviously it's at quite a leisurely pace, and I don't always have that luxury. But generally, this is how much time I spend on creating, especially when it's original stuff. And as I say, it doesn't matter whether it's a a realistic artwork or whether it's something more illustrative like this. It's just a bit of fun. I do generally spend this amount of time messing about. And again, I think that's something that's quite skewed by watching videos on YouTube or watching reels on Instagram, because everyone makes it look so easy. This is like, you've got to put the work in, and this is actually what it looks like. So for those of you that are impatient, y'all shouldn't be watching the stream, but that's okay. Right, I'm a bit happier with this situation. Maybe make the umbrella a bit bigger so it's a bit more obnoxious, because let's face it, cocktail umbrellas, they're obnoxious. So let's see if I can make this. Wow. Maybe not take over the whole glass, but certainly take up a large area. Yeah, that's better. I kind of like that better. Join the pink cutter revolution. Yeah, I do. Elisa's saying about flipping and drawing backwards and forwards. When I put it into Photoshop to make it into a sticker, quite often if I mirror image it, left to right, you spot things and you're like, oh, it is really handy. Thea got blonde or two, but chemically. Yeah, I think I've got very little. I've still got a few streaks, and I've got these like tiny little ends. When I go back and get my hair done again, I'm gonna have a bit more like that sort of like balayage, like very gradual blonde, but I'm probably gonna dye it like turquoise or something again, just because I can. That's on the cards the next couple of weeks. Rika says her brown hair is lighted too with the sun, though in the bathroom mirror also meant to notice the white hairs a lot more. I am getting so grey now. Like it used to just be I had like a couple here and then an odd one here and there, but they're everywhere now, and I'm just like, oh god damn it. Green Hat's giving belated orders because she's making dinner. You're excused, Green Hat. That's interesting, Mary. Used to have chestnut brown, and when she lost her hair in hospital, it grew back really dark. That's so cool. Your ad was about new Faber-Castell markers. Sometimes I'm quite curious about what ads pop up for people. Obviously, it is very heavily algorithm controlled. And most of mine's about computer games, to be fair, which makes sense because when I watch YouTube, it tends to be something that's on in the background, and it's usually someone playing video games, so that makes sense. Mary's still the only one with blue eyes. What a wee recessive gene popping out there, Mary. At least it's old. I'm old, so I've got white. I told the lady who cut my hair that I call my grey hair tinsel, and that made her laugh. Yeah, I've been using that. Like, I have actually been using that as funny. The Irish one. See, I always have that bit of beef with my mum because most of my mum's side, well, I say most, that's a lie. My mum's mum, so my gran, all her side have very, very dark brown eyes. And my grandfather, he had blue eyes. My mum's got like really, really blue eyes. And obviously, my dad's side, the Italian side, everybody's brown and dark. So I always like curse my mum because she's diluted my eye color, because my eyes are Well, I suppose I think that I would say that they're hazel, but they're like a dark hazel. But sometimes they look green and sometimes they look brown. So my mum basically watered down my eye color, and I always wanted to have really dark brown eyes like my cousin, who I'm like visually I look very alike to him. But my eyes are like this sort of wishy-washy version. But weirdly, as I've got older, I actually prefer having lighter coloured eyes now because it's something that people comment on a lot, and they're like, wow, and they don't automatically assume that I've got Mediterranean, like lineage. And then when you say, when I say my family name Campania, they're like, oh, what, is that Spanish or Italian? I'm like, it's Italian. They're like, yeah, now that you say that, you look a bit Italian, and I'm like, yes, I do. So it makes, not because I need the attention, but it makes for quite interesting conversation. Whereas I think if I had really dark brown eyes like Papa Jem and the rest of my family on that side, I think everybody would be like, yeah, it's obvious you're Italian. But then everyone says because I wave my hands about all the time that it's obvious. So, whatever. Thea's just said so many blue eyes. Where is the Hazel gang? Me. Jan didn't realise her grey streaks had grown so much until you had a photo taken at the weekend. Quite often that's the case. Angela's a redhead, dark hair and green eyes. Nice, Ulrika. This is Mel. Most of the people in my family have lovely, twinkly, bright blue eyes. Muggins here has green, grey, muddy eyes. Oh. I would actually say I'm not really a lover. I'm not very good at loving myself, which is a very Scottish trait indeed. But I actually quite like my eyes. It's probably the only part of me that I do like, and I am totally okay with my little crow's feet that are coming. Most of you know generally I have quite a sunny disposition, so it'd be kind of weird if they didn't start to appear at the age that I'm at. Okay, so I'm kind of like, right, we need to work on the rubber ring situation here. What I would like to do, I'm just going to look up a couple of reference images. I can draw llamas like straight from memory, but I'm so used to drawing them in like a super realistic fashion. So I just want to pull up a couple of images of, more sort of cartoony, for want of a better word, just to see, because I'll need to kind of cross those over for myself. Cartoony. Something I never thought I'd be typing into Google. All of them are very fluffy. Most of them, see, this is where I'm getting arsy about it because most of them are actually alpacas, they're not llamas. Alpacas have hair up here, llamas, like fleece up here, llamas do not. Let's have a look. Okay, here's a question for you then, chat. Do you want, for the llama floaty, do you want a cute llama? Do you want it to be cute, cute, cute? Jan, are you suggesting our image is not realistic? I'm not feeling. Oh man, I'm gonna have to teach the people the difference between llamas and alpacas. Jeez. Mm, mm. Yeah, most of these are alpacas. Not impressed. They are very cute though. There's lots of llama corn pictures, and it's a crossover I don't like, and then no likey. Okay, eh, and that's not really inspiring, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, no, okay, right. So we're gonna focus on. Let me just put this away now. We're gonna focus on this part now. So I'm gonna start here. Llamas have got weirdly long ears as well. They're not pointy, but they're almost pointy. and they do have hair. It's not as fluffy and fleecy as their bodies. Mel would probably attend an hour-long TED talk about the differences between llamas and alpacas. I could do that for you. Like I could actually do that for you. I would also invite my boss at work in my proper job. So she is like the company vet, but she has a bit of an affinity for camelids as well. And for my birthday, she actually sent me a llama slogan T-shirt, which I'm going to wear it in the next stream just for you guys. I'll not spoil it for you. So her and I like to have those conversations, but she could also talk about the difference between llamas and alpacas like all day long. That could be a thing, Mel. Jan would like a realistic alpaca. Well, not in this drawing, you're not getting one, Jan. Ah, yeah, Leaf, I'm kind of tempted to do that, but I kind of don't want to because I don't want it to influence what I'm doing. Yeah, for the cute. Will the floaty be wearing sunglasses too? Maybe. Who knows? Of course they have sunglasses because that's realistic. Yeah, Jan. Right, okay. Oh, goodness me. I kind of want the main thing about llamas that I like the most is they've got the most hideous teeth. And like others in their family, their genetic family, their top lip is split down the middle, but both sides can move independently of each other. So they can do like a proper Elvis lip, but it's kind of like a pair of curtains parting. Um, so I don't know whether I want the llama teeth in there or not though. Um, so if we want it to be cute, we want the eyes to be rounder, but I understand why people draw alpacas all the time because it makes everything instantly cuter if you've got a fluffy Elvis do. You know, like if I do that and bring it down to like there, obviously that instantly looks cuter. That's the way it works. But alpacas are like fluffy all the way around. Do you want to just make it an alpaca? Do we just make it an alpaca? Is that what we're doing here? Or he thinks of the Emperor's New Groove. Do you know that is actually one of my favourite Disney films? I'm not a huge Disney fan, but I love the Emperor's New Groove because I haven't watched that movie in ages. See, Jan's saying about the long eyelashes. All the ovines, bovines, and camelids have got long eyelashes. They are genetically adapted to have long eyelashes because they use them to keep the flies out of their eyes. Some of my cows have amazing eyelashes, but yes, we could give it eyelashes if we if we put sunglasses on, we're not going to be able to see the eyelashes. But the thing is, we can't make it fluffy because it's an inflatable. Like we can't do that. Like that's just not it's not a thing. Oh no, I don't really know what we're gonna do about this. I kind of like weirdly want to give her lipstick now as well. Like I don't know what's going on anymore. Like I really don't know what's going on anymore. And now we look as if we've got like lamb chop sideburns. Like I'm not kind of into this. Imagine an actual pool floaty with fur hair. It might sink you though, leave me if you get waterlogged. That might be the end of you. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go without the floof on the side. Maybe we could have a little bit of floof on the top. I would accept that, and we might be half llama, half alpaca. Um, this kind of reminds me of like a victory roll, you know, that like the wartime hairstyle as well. And then, but if we put sunglasses on, that's going to ruin that. And I feel like the eyes are kind of making it. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Oh, lordy. I realised I just didn't have my camera on manual focus there. Oh, this is so silly. Oh, by the way, have all the babies popped out now? Yes, thankfully. Oh my god, that was the longest calving in the history of Western Europe. Cute alpaca or slightly less cute llama? Yeah, like these are the burning questions, obviously. Mary thinks definitely a llama. We like the eyelashes, no sunglasses, okay. At least he's looking for a paint by numbers and find a llama and thought of me. Okay, we want big lashes. Did you guys hear the pops in the background there? Did you hear that noise? I don't know whether the crappy microphone in my laptop would pick that up or not. Okay, right, no sunglasses. Big eyelashes. Okay, okay. Oh, sunglasses further down the face, like looking over the glasses. Oh, yes, leave me, yes. You know, like the whole, that kind of pose. So we could have them there. Obviously, they might not be this style of or we could put them right down on the nose, couldn't we? Oh no, yeah, because where the arm makes her kind of look like a secretary or like a the sexy school teacher look. Yeah, no, let's not do that. That was very stereotypical of me there, wasn't it? That was something else. Just talking about stereotypical. Um, the venue for the gig was in what is a vegan cafe during the day, and they have live music and stuff at night. And it is the first time I have been in a city where there are gender neutral bathrooms. Now, I am a very liberal person. My sexual preferences are questionable. It's something I don't talk about very often, but I am very liberal when it comes to stuff like that. And it's the first time I have used a gender neutral bathroom when there has been someone of the opposite sex in there using a urinal within like my field of vision. And it was singularly the strangest experience of my life because the person in question that was having a pee was one of my old school friends who I have known since I was 5. And we are both married. He's got kids, and he just kind of like casually walked into the bathroom and he's like, "Hey, Jem." And I was standing at the sink, just I was trying to fix my wild hair. That's what I was doing. So I was at the sink, and the urinals were like just over there, and he just casually went and had a pee, and I was like, this is like it's so odd. I didn't have a problem with it, but it's just the first time I've experienced it, and I'm like, not really sure what to do here. Like, do I make casual conversation, or do I just like let him get on with it? Because like some people can't go if someone's watching. Not that I was watching, but do you know what? Just a really, it was a good experience, but it was a strange experience, and yeah, it was just I was like, oh, okay, like today I learned that every day's a school day and all that. But say it was just really strange because it's someone that I was at school with when I was 5, and that particular person used to like to cuddle me as small children. That was one of his favourite things to do. So it was like a Twilight Zone. Really funny. Sassy secretary sunglasses. Oh, yeah, the noise. If you heard that noise, that's the gas cannons going off in the fields. This is to scare the birds away from the crops because the crops are obviously starting to ripen. I never know, like I'm immune to it now. Jock jumps a mile when it happens. But I was wondering whether it had picked it up on the microphone or not. It was a bit surreal, Mary. I think that's probably a good word to describe it. No, that this bathroom was, it was 5 stalls and then a row of urinals. I didn't count the urinals though, and then there was like 5 or 6 sinks in an L shape. So if I'd had my back to the urinals, I would have been able to see in the mirror. So I'd picked the adjacent ones so that the urinals were like off in my peripheral vision rather than being able to see them in the mirror. It's so strange. Ugh. Yeah, well, everybody got pee and poo. It's like Leaf Reese just summed it up beautifully. It's liberating to remember that at least once a week Beyonce is having a sheet. Well, that's the thing, that everyone does have to pee and poo. I'm not sure if being present for that occasion with someone, I mean, I haven't seen Andy in probably 6 or 7 years. Like, I don't know if I need or want to be present for that, but I mean, I think he was like fine with it, and it wasn't a thing or anything. But it's just one of those things that I'm a country bumpkin. Like, I stay on my farm with my dogs and my husband, and I'm used to all the animal stuff, and it was just a new experience for me, and it's really nice to be and not a young person anymore and still have new experiences, but it's taught me that I'm okay with gender neutral bathrooms, so everything's cool. Wow, we're covering all the hard hitting topics today, aren't we? The other thing that struck me about that as well, there was a message sent round to us all that if we were taking snacks with us to the venue, they had to be vegan friendly because it is a vegan establishment. And I wasn't going to take food anyway, but I just thought that was a bit weird. I was like, is anybody really going to notice if I'm sat in the green room with a ham sandwich? You know, pre-gig, like, is that going to be a thing? It was just a bit odd, but it's like, play by the rules, Jem. Okay, right. I think we've established the baseline. I'm looking at this sheep now. I'm now focusing on sheephead, and I would really like to make this into a Suffolk sheep. Um, for those of you that don't know your sheep breeds, the Suffolk is a much larger breed of sheep, and they've got big, massive, long, velvety ears, and traditionally they have white fleeces, and their legs and their face is black. If we had a Suffolk, instead of having little pointy up ears like that, their ears would be like here. They don't have horns, so I'd have to take these because how do we feel about that? Is that a thing? Let me just. I'm a Google Suffolk and show you. And they're big. They're big and heavy. Oh, that's a PD one. Right. Let me just share my screen with you just for a wee second. Oh no, not that window. This window. So you can see they've got these like their lugs don't point up the way they've got they stick out sideways, and the real like pedigree ones, they've got like really big like sort of flappy over ears. So do we prefer that maybe? Would that be a thing? Are we into that? You can let me know. Has the floaty little legs. Oh, Leaf, you're like full of all the good ideas. I like that idea. Again, I feel like they would be at like a comical angle, but is that going to take away from the actual floaty? Or could we maybe just show some front ones? We could have like little stubby ones like this, couldn't we? Oh, at least can't go to the at least can't go to the bathroom in an all girls bathroom when someone you know is present. I like that's a thing for some folks. I get it. I'd bring a ham sandwich into a vegan cafe. Well, no, I wouldn't. But if I did, who's gonna know unless I like go and like waggle it about in front of the sun? I'd be like, ha ha, look at me, I'm eating ham. And I don't really see how that would affect other vegans as well, as my point. I'm just saying. Floppy ears, yes. Janet, the guy that put the toilet seat down. Oh. Suffolk sheep are super cute. Yeah, like when it comes to liking sheep, which I'm not very good at, Suffolks are one of my favourites. They're really hard to work with, especially the tups, like the boys, because they're big and heavy. Like they're difficult to manoeuvre. They're quite difficult to handle, and you need quite a strong dog to work them because of their size. But they're actually one of my favourites. And see when they're lambs. Well, not when they're lambs. When they get halfway between lamb and adult, they have this weird gangly phase where their ears, like their head hasn't grown into their ears, but they're still quite lamb looking, and they're absolutely adorable. Yes, for floppy ears. Oh, Mel's dad used to have a flock of Suffolks. Yeah, I like them. The stubby legs. Okay, you like the stubby legs. Ah, Marigold's a fan of the Wensleydale sheep, obviously. What if the legs were like round and a bit more horizontal? Yeah, because it's a floaty, there's not going to be like jaggy shapes. Okay. Right, okay, hang on. Let's go with Thea's suggestion. So let's have them at a bit more of an angle. More like that, Thea, like this. Make them a bit fatter. See, again, this is the problem I'm going to have with the neck, because everything that's in an inflatable is going to naturally be inflated, unsurprisingly. Oh, I can't. This is just getting more and more ridiculous. Oh, God. Does the sheep wear a whistle around its neck like a lifeguard at the pool? Stop, everyone. Jan has to do some work. Oh no, like we can't be having this. It's just not acceptable. Thank you, Thea. I'm glad you clarified that. Yes, this is going to be the mouse. They're so hilarious and so right. Oh, guys, I love you all. Right, I need to work on my sheep head. Now that we're going to have a supper, I've got makeup on this now. You can tell I'm really not used to wearing makeup. Oh, lordy. Green hat's free, yay! Right, well, on that note, guys, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Jock is like down here. He's been sleeping, but he's starting to get quite restless, and normally that's a sign that we need the bathroom. So, it is 4:20. To be fair, time flies when you're having fun. When I come back, I will do a bit of work on the sheep head. God, I've got fingerprint. I'm gonna have to go and wash my hands. There's another bit of foundation. FYI, kneaded eraser takes off foundation. All good. Well, from paper anyway. I'm not trying it on my face. When I come back, we'll work a little bit on the sheep head, and then we'll try and get a sort of more final drawing. Although I'm tempted just to work on this because it seems to be going quite well through its evolutions here. Hi Susie, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. You're in Oz, so it must be quite early for you, is it not? Thea needs a break to get more aloe gel for her sunburn. Right, guys, talk amongst yourselves. I know y'all are just going to talk about food. Don't pretend that you're not, but I'll be back really, really quickly, I promise. And we'll get cracked on with a little bit more of this. Okay, and we're back. We're back. I just had to persuade Jock to come back in there because he thought it would be a good idea to go for a wee sunbathe while he was out there because it's nice and warm outside. We've got like French doors into our garden from our lounge. So I just left the door open for him, but he's come back in anyway. Everything's fine. But he's done his business, so that's okay. Oh, someone's making a Thai green curry. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Welcome back. Thank you. It's me. Oh, right. Okay. So we're gonna do sheepy heads now. So we're kind of gonna do this slightly offset angle though. So let's basically you just want a triangle, but we want to round off the top. Again, Suffolks have got a slightly not domed head, but it is slightly rounded. But their noses are really round at the bottom. They've got big soft faces, but we want to get these ears in, like this sort of idea. We'll forgo the ear tags, we don't need that level of technicality. One of the things we'll need to watch is though, because their faces are black, we're going to have sunglasses, so we'll need to have some sort of bright coloured frame, you know, for some contrast, like red or pink. Maybe the frame of the sunglasses. Look at the hair on me. I don't even know if this is my hair or dog hair or is my hair. Okay, right, good. Good gem. Oh my goodness. Just not very presentable at all. Maybe like Wayfarer sunglasses. Bright pink frames. Okay, noted, noted. So we want the frames to stick out a little bit. I want to keep that shape though. These look like ski goggles. Ah, because the legs are gonna have to still like sit on the ears. Oh, see now we've hit it. We've hit a technical point here. Okay, maybe just go for like more of a straight across. Mr. Jem was talking about the sunglasses fashion just now, and these really big, like oversized shades with the straight top on them. I don't know what they're called, but they seem to be really popular with the youngins these days. I think they're really ugly, but we are firmly in the aviator, the mirrored aviator camp in this house, and there is no alternative. They do look really good with a cowboy hat and a pair of blue jeans as well. Obviously, we're at that stage where we don't go for anything else. Maybe something. See again, they kind of look like ski goggles. Right, we're gonna have to do a bit of a deep dive into the sunglasses frame here. Again, I'm just gonna look up some reference images on Google. I'm not doing anything special here, but I would like everything to be right, and details are important. Just want some images. Yeah, so they've got a very slight bend in the top, but it's not much like in at the nose. We're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger here. A 50s Ray-Bans kind of gal. Well, my mirrored aviators are Ray-Bans, to be fair. Yeah, so they're kind of got they're like individual lenses, but they've got this bit in the middle. Oh, like this. They've got really thick legs though, and this is the point where it becomes a problem for our sheep. Right, okay. Hang on. I think we might just have to wing this, honestly. Okay. Daddy would go for a psychedelic look on the sunglasses. Offensive green and yellow and orange. Or alternatively, we could go for like the hippie round lenses, you know, like a little John Lennon number. And then we could have like pink coloured lenses and not much of a frame on them. There's always that for an option. This might just be getting silly. Are we overthinking this? I don't know. Let's but like big ones. Yeah, man. You know, like this. Do we want to go for that and then we could have like rose tinted spectacles? Get the nose in. Okay, we're quite severely pointy here. We're getting into like plague doctor territory here. God. That's a bit better. Okay. They do have a bit more of a. What about something like that? I say we could make these like a really nice shade of pink or something, or are they too like steampunky goggly? Cat eye sunglasses for extra sass. Heart-shaped ones. Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, so same idea, but so let's draw them square on first. Oh, yes. Okay, so something more like that. I love that idea. Yes, 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 yes. And we'll make them pink. Like we'll make them rose tinted spectacles, but they'll be heart shaped. Okay, right, let's see. This is not going to be that easy. Again, it's more about the angle than anything else that makes it a bit more challenging, but I'm sure we'll I'm sure Oh my goodness. I've never drawn a pair of heart-shaped spectacles. I nearly said testicles there. Not English and well at all. And considering that is my native language, that's slightly concerning. Heart-shaped testicles. Oh my god. What is wrong with me? Oh freak. Right, okay. So we could do that and we could have the frames. Right, see, this is where I've got in my little pencil case here. This is just like my sketching pencil case, but I do have a couple of pencils that have colour in them. I've got these little pilot colour Enos, which this is, look how grubby it is. Ugh, that's all the graphite and everything in there. These are mechanical pencils, but that are have coloured lead and they are erasable. But I've also got this really old Prismacolor Cult Erase pencil. So we would have like the lenses could be this colour, but we could pick an outrageous colour because again you've got to remember this is going to be against a black background because we've decided that it's a Suffolk. I've got a green one somewhere as well, but I don't know where it is in there. We'll use the blue one. But yeah, we could make the frames an equally offensive colour like this, and that would stand out really well against the black, like proper psychedelic sunglasses. And then if you think about this, obviously we'll have some shading and some detail because we need to make sure we've got like the contours of the ears and the shape of the skull. So we would have some sort of shading to denote that. But I think that especially that pink and blue together, that would look pretty cool actually. What do we think to that, guys? There was a non-woolly bits of babies of testicles. There will be no testicles visible. Oh God. Other hands of testicles. Now there's a drawing that needs to be done. Other hands holding some testicles. Oh my. Diverted by the balls up. Oh no. Oh, this is just getting really silly. Oh no. Okay, it's taken a lot longer than usual, but we are at gutter level. Oh, okay, right, can we have a consensus? Never mind the testicles. Can we have a consensus on the frames and the lenses, please? There wasn't even any Jack Daniels involved today. Ah, good grief. Yes, this is what I'm saying. Like, don't need any alcohol. Yes, we're definitely in the silly hour green hat 100%, and that's okay. I told you at the beginning this is a safe space. We can all just be lunatics together. Thank you, Ulrika. Someone's given me a sensible response. Okay. I might as well think about contours while I'm here as well. Again, assuming a light source is going to come from the top, so we'd have a fold there. So this would be darker. This is an F pencil, so we're not going to do much with shading here, but we just want indicators of what we can expect. And the general shape would give us some darker areas here, and then down the sides, and obviously that would lighten up as it got to the middle. The top of the nose would be dark, so down here where the muzzle is, this would be much, much darker, and then the nostrils will be super, super dark. Again, the same here. So yeah, they have like a slight fold. You know, the ears, like, they kind of fold over almost forward slightly, so that would be darker under there. But they do have a slight sort of peak-ish-esque sort of, but it's quite a soft. We'd have to do quite a lot of blending, but that looks much better instantly. Round their muzzles very much depends on how well bred they are. If you've got a really good pedigree Suffolk, they're like as black can get. But if you have a slightly less prolific breeding line, they can have more like shades of grey in them. We'd maybe just do that for aesthetics though, but I can't believe this is what sheep's gonna look like. Ah, I need to say his wool's gonna start like there though. He's gonna be super fluffy. A safe space for heart-shaped testicles, yes. Jan says, I love the fact that in all this silliness, Jen is still concerned about light sources. It's kind of my thing, to be fair. You know, I've got a bit of fixation about we do need a little bit of realism here. Elise is saying you can use gold watercolour on the sunglasses. I can, but the problem with that, Elise, is when we put it into sticker form, obviously the metallic aspect doesn't transfer when you print it out. I would have to hand paint that in on every sticker, so yeah, and when you print out gold, it depends the way the light catches, you know, when you're actually scanning it, and sometimes it overexposes and it's really pale, or sometimes it doesn't catch it at all and it looks really dark and it just looks muddy. I think if I was doing it as a print, like I did with the tiger print, I would hand finish it with metallic paint, but for stickers I can't do it because the surface of the paper is like ultra glossy as well, so the paint just wouldn't hold, and obviously then it becomes not weatherproof, which is one of the great things about vinyl stickers. I love this suggestion though, because you know I like a good metallic finish on things. Okay, right, I think we've kind of covered most of the elements. The thing that's still concerning me is the llama neck situation, and I think that again I'm going to bring it down here. I'm actually loving the llama face, like that. I'm kind of that's what I want. So we keep that, but I'm going to have to make the neck thicker because it does look quite odd. We're going to have a thick neck. So maybe we can keep it skinny at this point, but I think we maybe need to widen it out from there. So it maybe needs to come out a lot further. like that way, like a big thick tree trunk. So let's just yes, oh yeah, see that? I feel like that's better already. And we can just blend that. Don't forget the legs sticking up. We need a little bit of realism. I always get quite concerned about this, you know. Let me just have that little foot poking up there, like, oh no. Okay, I needed a razor around. I just got a text message from Mr. Jem, by the way, and this is FYI, guys. I was talking a little bit earlier about the Derwent stuff that's in the Prime event. The Excel charcoal blocks and Inktense blocks are also in there. I think I might get myself some of the chunky blocks. I'd kind of like to play about with that a little bit. And they are reasonably priced because I've looked them up. Right, see, I'm happier with this. So the solution is not necessarily to make the neck longer, but to just thicken it out at the bottom. That works quite well. And we can still put in those little puckers. You know when you blow up an inflatable, especially when there's like a change in the shape, you usually get those little lines. But I think, again, we can exaggerate. And I kind of want to put the llama tail in as well, because llamas have the silliest little tails. So if we exaggerate this, like basically give our llama a big butt. And we can pop their little tail on at the end. I think that would be quite cute as well. And llamas, not dissimilar to other quadrupeds, when they're babies and they're getting milk from their mums, their little tails go like this all the time. And when they've got a little stumpy tail like that, it's so cute. Like, it's the cutest thing. Super, super cute. The thin neck reminds me of the swan thing floaty that was just a stick head with an angel face. How do we search on Amazon to find all the great deals? Elise, you have to be an Amazon Prime member. You have to have a Prime membership. And when you go in, basically Prime's plastered all over Amazon just now. But it is specific to Prime memberships. Unfortunately, I was kind of bummed actually, because when the nice lady from Paul Rubens contacted me, and you know, she said about reviewing the watercolors and all the rest of it, it was only about 3 emails later she was like, oh yeah, by the way, you know, Germany and the UK aren't participating in the Prime Day sale. And I was like, well, that's helpful. But it was to do with stock levels. They were initially supposed to be part of it, but they don't have enough stock, and obviously they've got to anticipate that they're going to have a much higher sale rate because the stuff is in the sale. And she said they wouldn't be able to keep up with demand, so they've just decided not to do it. And it's basically just supply issues, which is a shame, but it's just one of those things. But honestly, and you know that, like, I wouldn't say it unless I had faith in it. But paying £50 for that set of paints, it's 24 half pans. They're really, really good quality paints, and they're far better quality than their previous incarnations. The set that I had, and I think I mentioned this in the video, but I think it was maybe the second or third generation set that I had, and they had that sort of slightly too bright chalky feel to them, like a little bit like school grade watercolor. And like, there's such a huge difference in the quality of those compared to the ones that I reviewed in the last video. And I would, if I was in the market for like a set of half pans and a palette, I would absolutely buy them. As you all know, I have watercolor coming out my ears. I've got so many sets. I do want to keep a hold of those ones though, because I really like them. I don't have a problem, honest. And that's quite extreme for me, because I am not a hoarder by nature. I like to get, you know, if things aren't getting used, I don't like to keep a hold of them, because I feel bad that they're not fulfilling their purpose or their, you know, their destiny kind of thing. But I'm very inclined to keep a hold of those Paul Rubens paints. Of course, Thea, because you'll be shopping from Amazon DE. I never even thought about that because Austria doesn't have its own Amazon, does it? You shop from the German one. I never even thought about that. Yeah, that sucks. It's like being in the UK. We don't get anything in the UK anymore because we left the EU. Yeah, it's a bit crappy. Okay, so just going back up here. So I'm kind of gravitating towards what's going on up here. I kind of want to refine this a little bit. This is like a really really overworked sketch, but this seems to be, oh, just dropped my eraser. Oh, yes, that's the other thing. Just talking about the Amazon Prime Day, the battery powered Derwent erasers. They are in the Prime event as well. If you don't have one of these, I think it's £15, and you get the actual eraser, but you get loads of refills as well. That's absolutely worth it. If you're in the market for one of those, I think it's down at like £9. Don't quote me on that. I've just looked briefly. I use this eraser all the time, and it's great for getting into wee spaces, especially in colouring pages. You know, if you're working against the edge of line work and stuff, highly recommend. And that's in the Prime Day sale in the UK. So if you don't have one of those, I would recommend. I'm just going to change the cocktail out here. I'm going to try and get some of that into grubby little mitts here. So when we're talking, just talking about legs, with the Suffolks, their legs are black as well, so that's going to be a heavy contrast to whatever we decide we're doing with the floaty, and I think that's absolutely perfect. And these ones are going to be jaggy and pointed because they're not inflatable, and I think that'll help to differentiate between the realistic legs and the inflatable legs as well. We'll pop that in there. Yeah, so let's put the glass in first. Oh, oh, not happy with those dimensions at all. Goodness me. You'd think with the number of martini glasses I've drinking out of, I've been able to draw one without any hassle. The only reason I like martinis is olives, though. Let's be truthful. That seems a bit large. That's like a comedy martini glass. I've got to decide how the hoof's going to fit round that as well. Yeah, we're all getting technical again. Get the umbrella in. And the top part of the straw is coming out like this. That's too big, isn't it? Do we need it smaller? Thea's seen that set being reviewed a few times already, and everyone said it's amazing. Yeah, I had to like close myself off from the internet basically. I was supposed to get that set of paints like a month and a half ago. But mine got lost in transit, and I had to get a second set, so I would have had that video out ages ago. But obviously when I'm doing a review video, I don't want any outside influence at all. It's a bit like the subscription boxes, like I have to block everything out. So I avoided Instagram, I avoided YouTube. I was like, just don't look at it, Jim, so that I was giving you like a proper impartial first look. And it's really nice to see, obviously, the comments that have come through under that video, and everyone's saying that, you know, the response is very positive. Because sometimes I feel like I seem to be the one that goes against the grain. I think something's really great, and everyone's like, yeah, well, there's all these problems with it. And then other times I seem to be unnecessarily like picky with things, and everyone else that reviews them is like, oh, I love this product. And I'm like, is it me? Got something wrong with me? But there you go. I'm glad that's the case, because I really do. I genuinely think they're a vast improvement on what they had before. Because people are stupid. That is Mary's response to asking why the UK left the EU. Oh, I can't with that. Don't even get me started on that debate. Leaf Me says, is the floaty just a blank colour? No, I haven't decided on that yet. I think we'll maybe discuss colour options. I think it should have some colour to it. I was thinking like maybe like a pastel rainbow kind of effect. I don't know. Minnie's trying to give a sensible answer to the leaving the EU question. I really don't want to get into politics. Like I just can't with it. Like and the EU thing, don't even get me started. But it was just a terrible, terrible decision. Terrible. Okay, Minnie likes the oversized glass. Leaf Me was thinking colourful bands and poms, like pom poms on light fur, but leopard is also an interesting idea. I'm not a fan of leopard. You're trying to torture me with the coloured pencils. Jeez, no, I was thinking like pastel colours, like pastel unicorn colours or something. But oh, jokes, Snowden. He's in his bed, which is down that side, and he's kind of upside down and folded over, and he's snoring. He's quite happy though. I'm really distracted by the fact that I'm mooting. And he was snoring as well. That is Thea's pussy shat. Right, okay, so right, if that's a good size, I think we're gonna have to have a hoof in front, because obviously they're cloven hooved. So that would look something like that. We're okay with the size. It doesn't look too ridiculous, to be fair. And then we're going to put in, let me get a darker graphite pencil. I'm going to grab this Blackwing. This is a Scrawler Box Blackwing pencil, which just happens to coordinate with the cave colours. These pencils are quite soft and dark. They do come in different grades depending on what edition you have of them, but they're quite good in places like this for just for adding in a bit of rough shading. I would like to point out this juncture as well. This is exactly the kind of thing that I use my sketchbook for. There was many conversations about all these pretty sketchbooks that you see people flicking through on Instagram. I am not one of those people. I do not have a pretty sketchbook. That is not what it's for. That's what loose leaf paper is for. This is where the ideas go down. This is where you develop your skills. And I make no apologies for that. Because look how much we've gone through. Honestly, look at all the things we've talked about in very specific detail down to colour. And like, if you can't do that in your sketchbook, where can you? Like, what's the point? Okay, so we're in heart-shaped lenses. We'll need to do a little bit of work on those because we don't want them to look like bums. But there's going to look something like that, and then I can get my yeah. Tickles me so much. Tickles me, I tell you. And then we've got fluffy feet. Feet here. Feet here. I'm really enjoying the angle that this sheep is sitting on because it is literally the position they would be in if they were couched on their back if you're working with them. That appeals to me. Like, that appeals to the farmer in me. Pom-poms, like, printed on the plastic. Great sentences of all times. It doesn't look too ridiculous. Oh. Well, I think we're doing pretty well on the ridiculousness front, honestly. Bum-shaped glasses. Oh, God. Oh, God almighty. I love you guys. I'm really like, see the specific size and angle of the llama tail as well. Like, it's just perfect. It's perfect. The fact that my own drawing is making me giggle, that tells you all you need to know. Like, it really does. I'm kind of pleased with it. This started like so rough, but we've made strides today. Like, we've actually made strides. I do need to fix her nose though. Are we agreed that the pool floatie's a girl? It's like a lady llama. Just refine this side a little bit. I'm going to use my Derwent electrical eraser here. Well, it's not electrical, battery powered. Make sure it's clean. It's got a bit coloured pencil on it. Yeah. Better. Back to my F pencil here. And again, I'm just going to use this. Oh, my hair's starting to get in my face now. Get out. Get those eyelashes in. If I was drawing a more realistic drawing, then our llama would have more oval shaped eyes because that's what shape their eyes are. But I think this is a fair trade-off for what we're doing. And also the floof, like almost like a victory roll, like I think that's perfect. We'll give her these almost pointy ears because that's what they've got. And then we'll give her our nose there and those little independent lips. There we go. So we're actually quite close to not a finished sketch, but that is far more refined than I was expecting to be. And what that means is when we go into our next stream, I will redraw this and clean it up on a fresh page. I'll go over the page so that we've got a full fresh page, and it means we can get started on discussions about colour and what colours we want for certain things, a wee bit of colour theory, all that jazz, and that'll be fine. Oh, Jock's on the move. Get that straw in there. I want this stem to be a bit longer. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's actually looking okay, isn't it? Elise is asking, Jem, can you add a range of prices on your Amazon wish list? I would love to get you something, but cannot afford the sneakers. The sneakers aren't for me. They've gone onto the wrong list. They're actually for Mr. Jem. So don't be doing that. No, I don't expect anything off a wish list. Honestly, Elisa, I really appreciate your generosity, but you don't need to do that. I do need to go in and sort out the arty wish list though. I don't know why, but when I go into Prime, it automatically dumps everything into the arty wish list, even if it's not an arty thing. And I've been putting a couple of things in to buy on Prime, for the Prime Day sale. I mean, so that's really funny that you've mentioned that. I need to fix that. Leave me sounds like how many bras does a pig need discussion. Yeah, I think we're past that point. Oh, at least thank you. I'm sure Mr. Jem will be very grateful. I will put that $10 towards our new microphone that we're going to have to buy. We're not buying Mr. Jem any running shoes because he can get them himself. He earns plenty of money. He's a big boy. But thank you for your generosity. That is really kind of you. Just while we're talking about streams, it's now 2 minutes past 5, so it's nearly time to finish up. How are we feeling about having the beer in boxes live stream and unboxing all these ridiculous amounts of subscription boxes that I've got? It's an idea that I would quite like to run with it, but I need to have enough interest. Otherwise, it's not worth my while. So the plan that I was having was to wait until I've got this month's Scrawler box and Upcrate. I've been informed that the Upcrate is on its way because it comes through a tracking service because it comes from Germany. So it will probably be here in the next 4 or 5 days, and usually the Scrawler box isn't that far behind it. I was going to make the stream truthfully probably a Friday night, so maybe not this Friday but the following Friday, and maybe do it from like 5 until 8 or something. I'm going to need a 3-hour stream, which is tiring but it's fun. But I thought we could kick back, open all the boxes, find out what's in them. And I mean, some of you'll have seen these boxes, that's the thing, because there's so many that I haven't opened. But I thought we could maybe go through the boxes and even pull together some of the supplies that work well together, not necessarily like all of the supplies, like don't have to use everything. And maybe for the last hour try and create an artwork with some of the supplies. First of all, I need the availability of people to come and watch. But secondly, is that going to be really boring because you've seen most of the boxes already? So, like, I've isolated myself from social media so that I don't see these boxes because, again, I like to open them and give you a genuine reaction and my own opinions on them, not what other people have seen. But I don't know whether that's going to be a thing. It's not something that we've done apart from at Cavemas. So, like, is that a thing? Marigold's always up for a stream, okay. A green hat says yes. A Wilcox mama says yes. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Friday evenings are good. Oh, I'm going to skip this next ad as well, you lucky ducks. A green hat doesn't watch anyone else unboxing, so well, thank you. I'm not privileged. What? Would you consider doing an artist meetup live where people can do art with you? If I wasn't a hater of people, then yes. Obviously, obviously, in terms of location, Scotland might not be the first choice for some people. I would consider in the future though. But if you mean like a virtual one, then yeah, I would be up for that. Mel doesn't mind if she knows the supplies already. A hater of people. Yeah, like the thing is, I don't honestly like. I don't make a show of hiding it either. I am not a sociable person. Um, I'm good when I like see when I have to do something, or if it's something I really really want to do. I push through that I hate people barrier because I know that 9 times out of 10 I'm going to have a good time. Uh, in those circumstances, when I'm finished, I am mentally and emotionally exhausted, and it's like doing a stream. Like, see, once we're finished today, I'll basically go and sit quietly in a corner for about 3 hours and just sort of like recharge my battery. And it's not that I hate it, because if it's something I really want to do, obviously I'm going to do it and I enjoy it. It's those situations that I'm forced into and I really don't want to be there and I just can't people. Like, I don't like it. One of the many things that points to the fact that I am neurospicy, which I have not had a diagnosis for yet. That's why I refer to myself as neurospicy, because there's definitely something there. Whether I get diagnosed or not doesn't really matter, but the social thing is huge for me. And I have a very low tolerance of people that I am involuntarily around. Like, it's work. It is work. However, here in the streams, you are my people. A lot of you feel the same way. You're not a huge fan of being sociable, so I'm sure a lot of you understand. But absolute truth, I wouldn't just walk up to a random person street and be like, I hate people, that means I hate you. Like, not like that, but I'm just like, oh God, why are you making me do that? Like, I don't want to do this. But it's a thing. Like, it's real. It is real. It is real. And I can't I don't know. I can't really say much more than that, honestly. But yeah, not a great socializer. Green Hat gets over peopled very quickly too. Glad to know that I'm not involved with that one. Thea says Gem Gem is definitely related to me, maybe not by blood, but by neurospicy. Yeah. I'm glad to be your neurospicy sister, Thea. Mel says our social battery is the size of those ones you put in the back of your watch. Yeah, we've definitely got watch batteries, you and I. Oh, that's funny. Oh. Nye says, is it too early to ask if we're having Cavemas this year? We are not having Cavemas. I don't know if I'll ever do Cavemas ever again. Um, and I'm sad to say that, and I don't want to disappoint you all, but I honestly, I don't have it in me. It was an effort. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I know you appreciate that. I know you all appreciate that, and you understand that. but the time where I would be like in full swing filming videos with my Santa hat on is like the end of October into the beginning of November. Glenn took his own life on the 6th of November, and obviously this year will be the first year that's like the first anniversary. I hate that word because anniversary is supposed to be a happy thing, and I don't want to do it. I just don't. I don't think I could. I don't think my heart would be in it, and I think we would have very grudged and substandard content, and I don't want that for anyone either. Plus, as well, at Christmas time last year, on top of what was happening with Glyn, Mr. Jem was really, really unwell. Like, he was seriously sick, and it ruined Christmas for me. And you guys know I love Christmas. And this year, I just want to have a year focusing on spending time with my family and Christmasing the shit out of Christmas because last year I didn't even put a Christmas tree up last year because of everything that was going on. So I appreciate you asking this early on because normally, like in the next 4 or 5 weeks, is when I'd start planning Cavemas now. But I'm not doing it this year. I'm just not. I'm not saying it's never going to happen again, but I can say in full confidence we're not doing it this year. We'll do something else instead. I think maybe around the Cave birthday in March again we'll do something. But Cavemas is just that's a no. It's not happening, I'm afraid. Um yeah, like Thea says, I'd be disappointed if you did something you didn't want to do. Like, I really, really don't want to do it. It's just too much of a stretch for me this year. Um, well, yeah, I could do a Cavemas in July. Well, I don't know about that, but no, I think maybe the cave birthday. I think if we aim for March time, we could do something. We maybe do even like a 3 or 4 day thing for the cave birthday because the cave birthday is like the 12th of March. We could do something around then. That would be fun. And I think I would be certainly more upbeat and jiving a bit better by then. Oh yeah, Terry makes a good suggestion as well. Maybe in the new year, you could be a live stream for charity. Yeah, I would be up for something like that, Terry. Definitely, 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 definitely. I wanted to show you all. I'm going to put you back down to the top down view. Um, one of the reasons I had a rough morning this morning was this arrived. This is my new bracelet, and you can see there that it's got quite a funky pattern on it, and that is Glyn in there. His ashes have been forged into the silver, and that's what creates this nice pattern on it. I ordered this quite some time ago, and the inscription inside reads, "Your wings were ready, but my heart was not." And I'd ordered this bracelet quite some time ago when Glyn's mum had given me some of his ashes, and I kind of deliberated for a while and I went back and forth. But I hadn't forgotten about it, but it was just kind of like at the back of my mind, and it arrived in the post this morning. And when I opened it up, it was like a slap in the face. So that's why I was a bit off this morning. But this is a reminder that, things like Cavemas, I might not be in a good place to do it, kind of thing. And the bottom line is, I took my time out when I needed it from the cave back when it happened, and I feel as if I'm like back on the right footing now. But sometimes there's just stuff that comes out of left field, and there's no way of anticipating how you're going to feel about it, but also how you're going to deal with it. And Cavemas is a lot of pressure at the best of times, and I just know that this year would be like walking a tightrope, knowing that you're really likely to fall off it. And I don't want to give you guys substandard anything because that's not what I'm all about. So that's kind of my feelings on it. But I'm sure we can revisit after Christmas. We'll revisit this conversation and we can see where we're at and what we would like to do, what you guys would like as well. But maybe a live stream just for charity would be fun too. I like that idea. A green hat's got a necklace with her cat's ashes in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, it is difficult. I'm really glad to have the bracelet though because that's me. I've got him with me every day. And we always used to make the jokes. I used to say he was my right hand man, and I wear this on my right wrist, but I'm left-handed, so you know that was the joke. But it's just nice to have something there that's yeah, because he was always there. He was always there for me too. So anyway, right, I don't want to get deep and emotional now. Right, okay, so let's just have one last little look. This is what we're going to be going with. For the next stream, I would like to say that that will be next Wednesday. I can't commit fully to that just yet, but at a push, it'll be 2 weeks today. What I'll do is I will clean this up a little bit more, and I will do a bigger version on this page, and it means when we come to the stream next time, we can get stuck in and we can go straight into deciding on colours and get moving on it. It's going to be far less complicated in terms of colouring than our clock marine, so I don't foresee it stretching over like three or four streams, but I suppose it depends how much talking I do. It might take longer than that. But I hope you're all pleased with the progress today. I think we've done a really good job of designing out what we've got. Oh no, no crying! No, we don't want the crying. A green hat says cuddles for everyone that need them. I bought for cuddles everywhere. Yeah, cuddles for everyone that needs them. Pink other hand cuddles, maybe? Anyway, yep, so that is it for today, guys. One last question before I go. Chat, please tell me what subject, I need to word this right, what subject would you like to see for the next video? I've got a couple of ideas for videos, and I don't want anyone to say that they want a colouring video because a new colouring series is coming soon. But if I was to do a standalone video with some art supplies or a particular subject, is there anything that you would like to see or that you're leaning towards? Because I'm kind of indecisive about what the next recorded video is going to be. So if you've got any suggestions, could you pop them in the chat just now for me after all your pink udder hands? Pink udder hands for the mods, pink udder hands for cuddles, all those things. Cuddles, udders, it's all the same. It's all the same thing, Green Hat. Michael says, trees, I need help. Not scary tree tutorial. Gouache. Graphic sketching. Oh, the question, Green Hat, what would you like to see as the next recorded video? And the answer is not adult colouring because I've got some of that planned. Beach theme. Oh, nice, Wilcox Mom. I like that suggestion. Feeling all summery. Green Hat participates but does not pay attention in class. I'm open to any suggestions at this point. Yeah, I've got a bit of an idea coming up for later on, which I'll not discuss with you just now. I'm like, don't brain fart out loud, Jem. Farm theme, ink or gouache. So that's 2 votes for gouache. Susan, graphic sketching landscapes, be a beach for all the animals and the floaties. So like a habitat or environment for all our aqua buddies. I like that idea too. That's really cool. Green Hat's going to blame the potential neurospicy for the wandering brain cell. Yes, there's only one. But that's wrong, Green Hat. The problem is that it's all your brain cells are doing all these different things at the same time. That's the problem. Ah, oh, okay. I will take on board your suggestions and give that a little bit of thought. I'm still waiting to see what the schedule is like for next week. But I will, as always, I'll update you. I'll put a post on the community tab, probably on the socials as well. If I can have a Wednesday stream next week to continue on with our Aqua Buddy here, that would be my preference. I just can't commit to it now. Probably by Friday I'll know what's going on. The other thing that we didn't decide, we need a name for this Aqua Buddy. Obviously we've got Gloria the Mermoo, and we've got Aqua Pig, and now we have the Clock Marine. We don't actually have a name for this creation. So if you've got any suggestions for that, or even if you want to go away and ruminate on it, get that? Did you like that? Sheep are ruminants. Terrible farmer joke. Have a little think about it, because we need a catchy name for this little dude, and he's floaty as well. Bear in mind this is a Suffolk sheep, if that helps you with your suggestions. Thea says maybe Gem will have time for the Discord at some point. Yes, yes, I would very much like that. I'm really getting back to normal with my schedule now, which obviously includes turning on my laptop during the day and putting Discord up. So I will be back to full participation in Discord probably in the next week and a half. Now that things have quietened down on the farm. I've only got a couple of weeks before harvest starts, guys. Beryl, Bruce, Sheena, Charlene. Bruce like the shark, I love. Oh, Basil. Basil. You guys are ridiculous. Right, well, I'm going to leave that with you. Basil sounds quite interesting. Basil the bobbing sheep. We can reconvene and talk about that a little bit next time. I just want to thank you all so much for coming and joining me this afternoon. It's so nice to have such a nice little bunch of comedians in this group on a Wednesday afternoon. We always have such a good time, so I really appreciate that. We've made great progress today. As I said, I'll keep you updated. Probably by Friday I'll know when the next live stream will be. I really want you to enjoy the rest of your day today, whether it's morning, evening, or somewhere in the middle. So can we have a round of pink other hands in the chat for the mods and for all of you? We've had some quite nice conversations today overall. I think we've had some deep conversations and some not so deep conversations, but that's the way that it should be. Because boyfriend's giving her funny looks. Yes. Mission accomplished. Basil is definitely a winner. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you back in the cave really soon for another video. Have a great day, everyone, and bye-bye for now.